Hi everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. Welcome to my channel. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we'll be making a storage unit that will hold our stamp pads. This particular unit will hold 10 stamp pads, and it's made out of chipboard and foam board. And we will be using construction strips and hot glue, and so I'll show you what we'll be doing and in the video. So let's get started. The foam board I cut. I'll put a link below of the way I cut the foam board. I did use, and I'll also put the link below of the cutter that I used to do this, because I'm not real sure if in the video if I went over that cutter. But this cutter, when I tried to do it with the cutter that I used for the chipboard, it was not quite thick enough to go through the layer. So it's better if you go ahead and use this blade that I'll show you in the video. And I'll leave a link to all the supplies through Amazon. I would appreciate your orders. It helps support my videos. So the chipboard that I used or cut, I have two pieces here that are 4 1/4 by 4. And that's the top and the bottom. I have two pieces that are 8 1/2 by 4 1/8. That's for the sides. Then I have one piece that's the back, which is 8 by 4. Okay, that covers the chipboard. Now for the foam board, that covers the foam board. For the chipboard, I use mostly scraps for all this. And if you've been using chipboard, you probably have several too. I'll also leave a link to the exact thickness of the chipboard that I use for this project. If you use anything different, you might have to adjust your pattern here. So this is just for this chipboard. And I have for the shells that each ink pad will go inside is 4 by 3 1/4. I have 9 of those. These are little strips that will separate each shelf, and there's 18 of them, and it's 3 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. So we have 18 of those. Now, as far as cutting the chipboard, I did use my stamping cutter because it is easier and faster to cut, 3/4 of an inch thing. And I'm telling you, it's very hard on your blades. That's why a lot of my paper here has got these ridges, because I did cut all my chipboard in there. And when you get through cutting, and you do need to cut cardstock, especially for a card, where it would be nice to have a pretty edge on it, you would want to take like your pokey tool here and run it inside of this chipboard, inside of your cutter here, and clean out the little pieces of chipboard that gets in there. That gets in there with chipboard and cheap cardstock will do that same, make a same mess like that. So that's how you would clean that out. Okay, as far as construction strips, these are all made. The reason I did this, because I'm going to make the edges of mine out of the crumb cake. And the reason why is because it goes good with this. I won't have to worry about covering this. Now, if you got black chipboard, you could use black edges, and that will be nice. But since I only had the craft color, I went ahead and went along with the crumb cake cardstock. And for my decorative outside edge, I'm going to go ahead and use this, because that goes good with the crumb cake and the shelves. So again, so I don't have to worry. And I'm going to cut this after I get through with the unit, just to make sure that this all fits before I do run my paper. Okay, now as far as these construction strips, I got 8 of these that are 8 1/2 inches, which is the short end of cardstock, by 1 inch, and I scored them halfway down the middle. So they're scored at 1/2 inch, and there's 8 by 8 1/2 by 1. And I did put score tape, and I went ahead and rubbed it all down folded them so they're all ready to be used. Now I do have 3 of these are cut 1 3/4 by 8.5 inches. Now I scored this one at 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch. And I put score tape here and here, and I'll run glue when I put this together later. Okay, now I've got the hot glue gun warming up, and we'll see how hot that is. And I also will be using these cute little feet on the bottom of my unit, so that will be another thing that we'll be doing. I'm going to go ahead and put the back to here. And this back goes to the side of this, all the way down to the level with the my table. So we're going to put glue here on the edge of this. And then we're going to butt this up to this, squeeze as tight as we can. Then I'm gonna, probably should have done that on a silicone mat. Square this up with my grid, and that should be about right. Okay, next time I'm going to do that on a silicone mat. Okay. This is the side. Okay, this is the other side. This should be the same level as this and the width of that. And this is going to go here. Again, let's go ahead and glue this side. This flat down and this flat down. Push. Okay, and then check, make sure it's square. What goes off. Okay. Okay, so that's the back and the top and the bottom. Now, let's see what we can do here. Should we go ahead and glue this on? Why not? Let's give it a try. So now we're going to go ahead and glue this all the way over and do it as fast as we can. Probably should turn my glue up just a bit. Got it at 135 about, because I try to keep it down to about 130 so I can touch it pretty quick and I don't burn my hands. I'll leave you a link to that glue gun that I like to use. Okay, let's give this a try. So we're going to try to work pretty fast on this. If this is not perfectly glued, that's okay, because we're going to put the construction strips. That's what really kind of holds it all together. So now here we go with this. Make sure it's square. Probably should have the mat underneath here. Okay. Push, 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 push. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now, we won't put the other side on just yet. First, we're going to go ahead and put this on there. As you notice, I have these spots here. That's because I forgot about this when I got started. So this, I'm going to go ahead and trim that much off each end. Maybe a little bit more, just so it'll fit in there good. Guess I'm going to have to use these. So we're going to cut that to that. I'm on the long side, so I'm cutting it all the way to that score line. Make sure that it fits in there. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this. And glue some here too. I guess I can go ahead and take this off too and do this side. Oops. I'll hold that all the way to the score line. Wrap that around. Now I've got a little bit to trim around here. Now I can come back with these things and put the first one all the way down to the back, all the way down, push it all the way to the bottom here, or the top, whichever one it is. I don't think it matters. This all fits right, then it won't matter at all. Hopefully it will. Okay, so this will be holding my shelves like this. Should I glue or not? Probably not. Let's go ahead and just glue this. We're going to use that as a spacer. And glue the next one. Okay. Use that as a spacer. Pretty taut against there. And glue our next one. One out. Repeat this by putting the spacers in between the shelves. By placing them taut against the shelf and taut against the back. You'll be doing this so there's 9 of them spacers in there. I made a mistake and put 10 of them in there, but you don't need to do that. It's just 9 is all you need. So the one on top will be a black area from where you can see the foam board. So 9 on each side. do it again. I'll leave this, cut this from this length right here. This is going to be cut away. This would be cut to the length of the chipboard. Don't look like I'm going to have quite enough to go to that edge there. So I'll have to remember to leave this other one a little bit longer. Repeat the same thing on the bottom of your box. So if I was to do this again, I would probably do this, and this, and this before I ever started putting any of those little strips in there. Now this one I'm going to go ahead and put the strip around here too. Okay. See, the long piece has to be on the inside, so it'll cover that spot. Okay. Now, that pencil line. Actually, I think if we did this with a piece of paper, a piece of the scrap of this foam board, this would be better on the back here because it's hard to get that down there. At least it was for me. Okay. So we got that pushed all the way to this line. I can't even see the line anymore. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to run some glue here. Just go ahead and glue it to here this time. Put this down here. Squeeze it together. Making sure my line is okay. Looks like I got it squeezed together too much there. There we go. Oh my goodness, don't tell me I did it wrong. I did it wrong. At this point, I thought I turned the video off because I thought, oh my gosh, that's just way too many mistakes. I'm going to have to do it all over again. Well, again, another mistake is I didn't turn the video off, so I kept on recording. So, but anyway, I think it's all fixable for you to understand. As you can see, I did it. I don't know how I managed to do that one, but I did. But anyway, I just pulled it off and glued it to the bottom. Just like I pulled that top one off that I made the mistake and went too high with it. This is one mistake after another, but anyway, it ended up pretty after all. So you can just see how I'm continuing to go ahead and move that one that was from the top and move back to the bottom. And now I'll go ahead and glue those together. Okay, here you see me start adding some construction strips to all the raw edges on the outside of the box. So that's 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and then all the way around the back. Since I thought this box was not going to be keepable, I was using some construction strips that I thought I was going to throw away because I double scored them. Planning on using it on the front edge, but where I scored it was not quite wide enough, so I was going to throw them away. But just continue with the construction strips all the way around all the outside edges, all around the outside of the box. The same manner as you see me do it there. Just use your score line and look at it at the side you're gluing it to. You'll see exactly where you need to put it. Here I'm just checking to see if those shells are going to work out okay. But anyway, just continue with your construction strips all along the outside. Okay, here you see me putting those shells in. I'm putting them in there dry, but later on I took them out and put about 3 dots of glue on each of the sides of the shelves where they're sliding into those slots, so they'll stay in there real nice. Now each pad is not very heavy, so you don't need a whole lot to hold it up there, but that will definitely do the trick, those little chipboard shelves. Okay, so continue to get all the shelves in there. This pattern paper is the pattern paper I decided to use on that, and so I cut 2 pieces that were 8 by 3 3/4. You'll need to cut 1 piece that will be 8 by 4. And 1 more little small piece for the top. The last one I just said it's for the back. And of course the 2 are for the 2 sides. The one for the top is 4 4x4 will be good. Okay, and as you noticed, I got all the paper on the outside glued onto it. Now I'm going to put my feet on, and I'm going to use that Fabri-Tac glue to apply the feet. I already have the pleat. I didn't have it in focus when I put the feet on, but just be sure and put a generous amount of glue onto those feet on the sides and on the bottom, and then attach it to the thing so it's good and snug against the corners of each one of those, each corner of the box, and let it dry. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.